Welcome everyone to Sopo 4B, the episode that marks 2/3 the way through this competition. Now that we're over halfway through the game, the averages of the first 3 rounds have set the stage and we've seen some frontrunners emerge. While each additional round will impact the rankings less and less, there's still tight races all across the board. This round unfortunately had our lowest completion rate of all of the rounds so far, as every single puzzle had at least one team not complete it, which I was kind of expecting as we get later into the game. Oh well. Despite that, we've still got some really great results here, so enough of that and let's get on to the puzzles. The first puzzle was Spot It, which was probably the easiest puzzle of the entire competition so far. There were 7 different Spot It boards and one final Spot It board you had to figure out the answer to. Essentially, what it was that in the center of each Spot It board there was an item or image that was unique to that board, and surrounding that board there were several other items, repeated between all the boards. What those other items represented were letters, each of the letters of the object in the middle. For example, spade had a corresponding item for each letter in that word. All you had to do was figure out what letter each item represented and then solve for the last board, in which the answer was typing. Now, let's see the results. Team No Strong Preference, previously the only team in the top 8 averages of the season to not have won an individual puzzle, have finally achieved that, and by nearly a full minute as well. In fact, with this win, NSP is now the second team to hit 5 podiums on puzzles in a row, with the first team to do that being Team Preytrick. Speaking of Preytrick, they got 2nd place this round, and are finally right back up there in the podium after having a break from it last round. In 3rd place is our current frontrunners not involved in cheating, which means the entire top 3 of this puzzle is the same as the top 3 in the whole competition so far, although rearranged slightly. Something something, the rich get richer. Anyways, in 4th place is BEFFD8 with a time of 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And in 5th place is Team We Broke the Code, also with 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Both of these two teams ended up placing within 1/3 of a second of each other, with BEFFD8 narrowly beating out We Broke the Code. Obviously, these were the 2 closest times of this puzzle. However, Yara and Drip Swag Like a Broken Faucet came quite close to that, with times within 2 seconds of each other. 1¼ second to be precise. Anyways, 18 teams were able to finish in under 15 minutes, and 20 teams were able to finish in under an hour. Or, well, finish at all, since the other 2 teams either did not complete the puzzle or did not attempt it. In fact, the entire top 18 was incredibly tight, all placing within slightly above 10 minutes of each other, which especially sucks for 18th place Team Avian Witch Genius Gremlin Robot, who was previously the last team to have placed in the single digits every single round, now unfortunately doubling their worst placement with this puzzle. Anyways, congratulations again to Team No Strong Preference for finally achieving a puzzle victory, and now onto puzzle number 2. The second puzzle was Gerrymandering. In Gerrymandering, you had to divide the grids into 7 sections of 7 so that cyan cells were the majority in more regions than yellow or purple. This puzzle always looks daunting at first, but once you get the math behind it, it's actually quite easy. Particularly, every board has 9 cyan cells, 14 purple cells, and 26 yellow cells. If you used 4 cyan cells in a single region, you would only be able to make 2 majority cyan regions, in which either purple or yellow must have 3. Therefore, you need to make 3 majority cyan regions. How do you do that? Pluralities! If you have 3 cyan cells, 2 purple cells, and 2 yellow cells in a single region, and if you do this for 3 regions, you can make the other 2 regions majority purple and majority yellow, and then cyan would win. This forces all 9 cyan cells to be in these 3 regions, and also 6 purple and 6 yellow cells into these 3 regions, 2 of each per region. Then, 8 purple cells and 20 yellow cells remain for the last 4 regions. Since you need 2 majority purple regions, those 8 purple cells must be split into 2 regions with 3 yellow cells remaining for those regions. That leaves 14 yellow cells in which the final 2 regions must be entirely comprised of. Once you have that figured out, the general logic for these boards is to either figure out where the 2 7 yellow celled regions go, or to figure out how the cyan cells are divided up between the 3 cyan majority regions, and everything unfolds from there. Here are the solutions for all 3 boards. Then, you get the extraction, which essentially tells you that every single region containing a district of any of the corner cells or the center cell is to be discarded. That ends up being nearly every single cell, as only 5 cells are not connected to the corner or center cell in any region on any board, being these 5. When you unscramble the letters, they spell holes, which is the answer to this puzzle. Who would have thought such a broken and horrendous election system could make such a satisfying puzzle? And now, let's see the results. Congratulations, team not involved in cheating. You are now the 3rd team to have won 2 separate puzzles behind Praytrick and DSLABF. With a time of 7 minutes and 46 seconds, you beat out 2nd place Purple Team by nearly 2 minutes. Purple Team, on the other hand, was the only other team to finish in under 10 minutes, with a time of 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Finishing off the podium with a time of 10 minutes and 44 seconds is Team Avian Witch Genius Gremlin Robot, redeeming themselves after a less than stellar score in Spot It. 23 seconds behind them is Drip Swag Like a Broken Faucet with a time of 11 minutes and 7 seconds, and only 7 seconds behind them is Puzzles: 3 with 11 minutes and 14 seconds. Overall, 16 teams finished in under half an hour, and 20 were able to finish in under an hour, with Team Rocket Cats being the only team above an hour with a time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 57 seconds. The closest 2 teams placed were Team 225 Espers beating out BEFFD8 by only 6 seconds. Congratulations again to Not Involved in Cheating for their 2nd puzzle victory, and now onto the final puzzle. Puzzle 3 was See Example, which is the 2nd puzzle of this series to be created by one of the testers. This one was created by Hans. Huge thanks to him for this difficult yet very fun puzzle. Anyways, in this one, you got 2 separate puzzles, and each of them contained a solved example puzzle and a legitimate board. what you had to do was extrapolate what the rules are for each puzzle based on the example board. For the first puzzle, the rules were that each region must have 4 cells highlighted, creating a tetromino. Tetrominos of different sections may not border or corner each other. Each row and column of the board must also have 4 cells highlighted. The final rule is that regions containing the same tetromino type may not border each other. Anyways, here's the answer to that board. As for the second puzzle, the rules were that you had to create a single closed loop that goes through every single number cell, in which every number indicates the number of cells that the loop does not go through in the 3x3 square surrounding that cell. Here is the solution to that. When you look at the letters in the tetrominos on the first board, it tells you to anagram toils with the part 2 answer. When you look at the letters not in the loop in the second puzzle, it tells you to go to part 1, and the answer for this one is outage. When you combine toils and outage and anagram it, you get tautologies, which is the answer to this puzzle. And now, let's finally see the results for this final puzzle. Congratulations Team Drip Swag Like a Broken Faucet. You are now the first team to win a total of 3 puzzles in this competition, which is an entire quarter of the puzzles so far. Narrowly finishing under the 30-minute mark with their second place of the round is Team Patricia with a time of 29 minutes and 44 seconds. And in third place is Team Puzzles:3 with a time of 32 minutes and 48 seconds. In fourth place, we have Team Weekly's Animatics Org with a time of 36 minutes and 4 seconds. And sealing the deal on being the only team to top 5 in every single puzzle of the round is not involved in cheating with a time of 37 minutes and 1 second. NIIC ended up beating out 6th place team No Strong Preference by 40 seconds, which was the closest 2 times of the entire round. This is the first time in this competition that every single team has placed at least 30 seconds apart from any other team, as the previous closest was fitting in round 1 with at least a 25-second gap between all teams. Overall, only 7 teams finished in under 1 hour, while 15 finished in under 2. This round also had the highest DNF rate out of every puzzle so far, with 4 teams being unable to complete it and 1 who didn't attempt it. Which I guess technically makes this puzzle the hardest puzzle of the competition, but still, puzzles 1 and 2 were on average way easier than puzzles 1 and 2 of last round, so technically I didn't lie about this round being on average easier. Anyways, congratulations again to Team Drip Swag Like a Broken Faucet for winning this puzzle, and now onto this round's leaderboard. As expected, this round was won by Not Involved in Cheating, who is now the first team to win 2 individual rounds. However, this is their first solo win, so congratulations to them for that. A bit of a jump down in second place is Team No Strong Preference, the winners of last round. The third and fourth place teams tied, however DSLABF technically takes the final podium spot over Puzzles:3 for their victory on C Example. Meanwhile, 5th and 6th are also tied, with Patricia taking that final top 5 spot over BEFFD8 with their double silver medals. This round, Patricia had the most inconsistent times with their double podium and single red tier placement. However, Avian Witch Genius Gremlin Robot was right behind them with a single podium and a single red tier. On the other hand, the most consistent teams of the round were the entire bottom 3 of this round. Although that doesn't really feel accurate, so beyond the bottom 3, the most consistent team was Team Bread and Flaps, who have gotten that green tier placement down to a science at this point. Now on to the full leaderboards. Not very much changed this round, seeing as the previous frontrunners not involved in cheating also ended up winning this round, meaning they only extend their lead to below 4th with a 3.83. Patricia still keeps 2nd place with an average of 5.25, however, the gap between them and 3rd place, No Strong Preference, has shortened even more, with NSP now having an average of 5.42. 4th and 5th place also don't change, with Puzzles: 3 and DSLABF still being right up there, staying under a 6th place average. Not too much changes elsewhere either. However, there is unsurprisingly a new last place, being the Pink Pony Club, who unfortunately were unable to attempt the puzzles this round. There are also 2 ties now, with AWGGR and BEFFD8 both at 7.17, and Weekly's Animatics Org and Purple Team both at 10.92. Both Bread and Flaps and Team Weekly's Animatics Org keep being the team with the most consistency and least consistency in placements respectively, and that leads to both averaging out to be pretty much in the middle of the pack overall. Now, let's look at some miscellaneous stats again. Adding the round 4 average times to the chart, we can see that Spotted is now statistically ranked as the easiest puzzle, and See Example is ranked as the 2nd hardest. However, these stats aren't perfect because it doesn't account for DNFs, in which Star Battle only had 2, meanwhile See Example had 4. So, factoring in those make these probably about equal in terms of difficulty level. With Spotted now being the easiest puzzle on average, the top times for every single puzzle combined is now overwhelmingly just all of the top teams for Spotted, as it takes 6 spots of the top 10 and 11 of the top 25. As discussed last episode, the closest 2 times on any puzzle were AWGGR beating out Patricia by under 1/10 of a second. However, that is no longer the closest, as the new closest is all the way down at 53rd and 54th. Where Puzzles: 3 time on Hidden Crossword was slightly above 1/100th of a second faster than Team Uni's time on Spotted. In other words, 12 milliseconds. That's far quicker than I was ever expecting for this competition. That's so fast, in fact, that it's actually faster than Discord's ping speed, which is around 20 milliseconds at its fastest. Meaning, the internet speed of the users who started and finished the commands most likely had a factor in determining which of your 2 times were faster. So it's a good thing these times weren't for the same puzzle. Anyways, that's all for the statistics this round. Only 2 rounds left to go before the competition is over and we crown a winner. As per usual, Sopo 5A will release within a couple of days. See you then!